Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking a massive crisis that's currently hitting the absolute center of the software engineering universe. If you write code, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're looking at a system that holds the very fabric of modern software together, and right now, that system is under unprecedented stress. We're talking about GitHub in the spring of 2026, a platform that over 100 million developers rely on every single day. So get ready, because we're going to visually break down exactly what went wrong, why it's breaking, and what it all means for the future of development.
All right, let's dive right into this. To really grasp the severity of this breaking point, we have to look at a rather telling quote. This isn't just some random, frustrated user complaining on the internet. This is essentially a breakup letter from legendary developer Mitchell Hashimoto. You know, he's the creator of massive tools like Vagrant and Terraform. He literally helped build the modern cloud infrastructure landscape. And when someone of his caliber publicly declares that the platform is actively fighting his ability to do his job, well, that signals a major point of no return.
So that quote begs a massive question for us to consider. What actually happens when the most important website in software engineering breaks? For those 100 million plus developers, GitHub is not just a handy tool. It is, effectively, the public record of software. If your code isn't on GitHub, it might as well not exist. It's their issue tracker, their deployment pipeline, their social network, and quite literally, their professional resume. When a developer encounters missing pull requests, dead search results, or hanging integration actions, it's kind of like watching a vending machine eat your last dollar. Except in this case, that dollar is your livelihood and hours of incredibly complex mental labor. Section 1. The uptime discrepancy. Official versus reality. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why developers are so unbelievably frustrated right now. Officially, GitHub's status page confidently reports uptime well above 99%. Sounds great, right? But the reality is that third-party monitors tracking April 2026 show an absolutely abysmal 86% uptime. To put that into perspective, Amazon's AWS S3 promises 11 nines of reliability. Right now, GitHub is essentially operating at 1.9. I mean, it's a stark contradiction between what the company says is happening and what developers are actually experiencing on the ground.
Section 2. A timeline of disaster. The April 2026 cascade.
Let's move to the timeline and actually see how this builds, because it's wild. On April 23rd, a quiet bug in the merge queue literally unmerged and lost 292 pull requests across 658 repositories. Think about that. The platform whose single job is to keep your code safe lost the code. Then, just 4 days later on April 27th, GitHub's Elasticsearch subsystem gets slammed by a botnet, taking down search functionality for hours. And the very next morning, April 28th, it peaks. The CTO has to publish a very public apology for the reliability issues, and on that exact same morning, they have to disclose a critical remote code execution vulnerability. That means a simple git push could literally execute malicious code directly on GitHub servers. Just a total cascade of failures.
Section 3. The human cost. A legend departs. Now, what's really interesting to consider is the number 1299. Out of over 100 million users today, Mitchell Hashimoto was user number 1299. He joined the platform way back in 2008 when it was just a simple Ruby on Rails application, trying to make a web UI for Linus Torvalds' Git version control system. Hashimoto has logged in almost every single day for 18 years. His entire legendary career is documented on this platform. But, you know, even 18 years of loyalty has a limit. Hashimoto has this massive passion project, a terminal emulator, called Ghosty, which has an incredible 50,000 stars. He literally kept a journal for a month, putting an X next to every single day a GitHub outage blocked his work on this project. Almost every day got an X, and that just completely broke him. He has packed up this highly influential project and is leaving the platform for good in search of greener pastures.
Section 4. The hidden culprit. Why is this happening? When a massive vibe shift like this happens, you absolutely have to ask why. Well, the GitHub CTO actually admitted the cause in writing, and it boils down to this term: agentic development workflows. To translate that out of corporate jargon for us, since 2025, the use of AI agents has accelerated sharply. And we're not just talking about simple autocomplete tools here. These are automated AI bots running complex workflows, pushing, pulling, and interacting with the infrastructure nonstop. They are hammering GitHub servers like it's an endless free buffet. The traditional infrastructure simply wasn't built to handle millions of non-human bots acting all at once. So the crucial point here is the deep, kind of painful irony of it all. GitHub was built to be the Facebook for code, a social network and host for human developers. But in the AI coding era, this enshittification is happening because the platform's primary demographic is shifting entirely from humans to automated bots. It's literally being crushed under the weight of the very AI tools that are, in many ways, being designed to replace parts of the traditional human developer workflow.
Section 5. Life after GitHub. Exploring the alternatives.
If Microsoft can't right the ship and get this AI traffic under control, there is another way. Let's impartially compare the viable alternatives that are currently waiting in the wings to reap the benefits of this downfall. We have three main contenders. First up is GitLab. It's been around forever, and it's considered highly reliable, if maybe a bit corporate and boring. Next is Codeberg, which is an excellent German nonprofit option for developers who want their code hosted out of the hands of big tech entirely. And finally, SourceHut. This one is really fascinating right now because it's incredibly minimal and proudly features zero AI features whatsoever. Depending on what you value, whether that's reliability, independence, or a strictly human-centric platform, the options are definitely out there.
Section 6. The Macro View, Your Career Impact.
All this platform disruption really forces us to take a broader look at our own career trajectories. And I want you to focus on this number, 80,000. If you work 40 hours a week for 50 weeks a year over a 40-year career, you have roughly 80,000 hours in your career. That is a massive amount of time. And in an industry that's shifting as rapidly as tech, where AI bots are literally taking down foundational servers, how you spend those 80,000 hours to make a positive impact on the world becomes arguably the most important engineering problem of your life.
To solve that problem, we have to move past unhelpful, unscientific cliches like, just follow your passion. This is where the nonprofit 80,000 Hours comes in. For the last 10 years, they've been rigorously researching how to find a fulfilling career that actually does good in the world. They offer data-driven career research, highly curated job boards for high-impact careers, and a free in-depth career guide via their newsletter. If you're looking to pivot mid-career because your industry is changing, or if you're just starting out, evidence-based research is exactly the tool you need to navigate the chaos.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Look, the tools we use will inevitably break. The platforms we love might change or just be completely overrun by bots. But your time, that is your ultimate resource. So, as the technological landscape shifts dramatically beneath our feet, how will you use your 80,000 hours to make an impact? Think about it and keep learning. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.